Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and today we're going back over to Track, and this is a collaboration with the Pilcrow pub or bar. I'm not sure if it's Pilcrow pub or bar, can't remember. It's really close to Victoria Station. Nice little place, interesting tap selections. It gets a little bit too crowded for my liking though, but that's because I take up the space of two people. Plus, I'm not a big fan of crowds, to be honest. I just feel a bit on edge. I don't know why. I don't have like any issues like that, but do you know what I mean? It's still a really nice little place, and a lot of great events are held there. And also brewed in collaboration with Piccadilly Records. Fantastic record shop. Its reputation precedes it. God, I remember many an hour I've spent in that place. Not so much in recent years though, so I might have to rectify that. So yeah, this is a can of the Nickel in the Slot, which is a pale ale, clocking in at 4.8% ABV. I'm not too sure about the conception of this beer. I'm not sure if it's to do with something like Record Store Day, can't remember when that was, or if it's got something to do with the upcoming Indie Man Beer Con or some other sort of event that both the Pilcrow and Piccadilly Records were involved in. If I can find a write-up, I'm sure it'll explain the collaboration on the Untapped page, so links are always down below. But yeah, pale ale from Track, picked this up from the tap room the other day, and yeah, so this is brewed with malted barley, flaked maize, flaked wheat, oats, dextrin malt. Hops are Columbus, Vic Secret, Eldorado, Hallertau Blanc, and the yeast is LA. Is that Three Eyes? I'm not too sure. But yeah, interesting looking label. I've got to say, Track's cans always look really nice. It harkens back to those sort of designs you get, obviously with like the likes of Textbook Studio in Manchester, but also with the sort of the patterns you get on a lot of American beer labels, you know, the likes of Other Half and the Veil and that sort of thing. But yeah, this is more in line with I don't know, there's something really Mancunian craft about that, you know, from the likes of the artwork that they had a few years ago, and as well, you know, Cloudwater and their artworks. Don't know why I went off on that tangent, but yeah, 440ml, clocking in 4.8%. So let's get this open and see what we get. Did stock up on a few pale beers, even though I can't really afford to at the moment because I need to have money set aside for my trip to Germany. But I'll have enough money. But I'm also planning a trip to like either Rome or somewhere in Italy, maybe Naples or Paris at the end of the year. Use some of those holiday hours that I've accrued. But yeah, beer in the glass then, and I poured way too much of that. Look at that, it's like wobbly like jelly. But yeah, that is pale, that is turbid, that is a very light looking beer indeed. It's got the look of almost like peach compote. In fact, it's very reminiscent of like a peach sort of jam or something along those lines. But yeah, you can't see through that at all. It gets a bit whiter towards the bottom, and then the beer poured with about 3 fingers worth, a nice compact jelly looking head. Picked up another Cloudwater glass. I think this is like glass number 4 now. So let's see how long this one lasts, because I went to Cloudwater and picked up a couple of cans as well. So yeah, interesting. Looks really nice and appetizing. It's been a little bit warmer, but then it's got a bit colder, warmer and colder, all in one day. British weather. And yeah, so, and this turtleneck is, see, as much as I love wearing turtlenecks, this chin is so big, it like pushes down on them, so they'll never stand neat against my neck. They always bunch up and make it look very awkward. But then again, you know, I'm just my body looks like it's just a selection of like balls stuck together because I'm all lumpy and round. But you know, it's dad bod extra, and apparently that's what people like nowadays, he says. Anyway, enough self-deprecation. Let's get on with the aroma. And that's got a lovely citrusy, sherbety element to it. Definitely getting peach in there, a little bit of melon. It's got a lovely vibrancy to it. It's not, you know, leaping out of the glass in terms of aroma, but when you do get a good whiff, you get such a satisfying, creamy, soft, pillowy, welcoming aroma. Doesn't stretch off too much into a zinginess, but at the same time doesn't stretch off too much into a herbal character, and it doesn't also stretch off too much into a sweet nose. Really lovely balance on the aroma in general. It's smelling really damn good, so let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, guys. Gotta stop saying guys, because that's problematic nowadays, apparently. You decide. Cheers. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. First of all, it's got a much bolder body than you'd expect for a 4.8% beer, especially 4.8% pale. Lovely creaminess to it. Lovely bitterness on the back end, which I always like. Main flavours on the intake. I'm not going to say it's tropical and it's citrusy. It's what you'd get if you took the best part of both sort of flavour profiles and got them together. There's a lovely gentle tartness in this one. Reminiscent of the likes of gooseberry, but not as puckering. Nowhere near. It's not puckering tartness at all. You know, those sort of like tang-fastic Haribo sweets, that sort of thing. Loads of melon. Like melon chunks in a tin, and the juice that you get with them. It's soft, it's crushable. There's a little bit more of a pronounced herbal character towards the back end of the beer, which you don't get that on the nose, so it's a nice little surprise. And there's just these sort of little subtle nuances in that beer that I can't put my finger on, but I think it's because it's got quite an interesting hop build, and that yeast is adding some really nice intriguing esters to the beer as well. It's not your typical, you know, hazy pale ale. It's something a little bit different, but it's still, you know, you've got those fundamental characters you want with a beer that looks and smells like this. But yeah, sat out the back, or you sat in your little room chilling out to some records you've just picked up from Piccadilly Records. Highly recommended. They do some really cool in-store events as well. I think even James Murphy from LCD Sound System was doing a little bit of an event in there, and there's a really cool Mr. Scruff DJ set that you can see from Piccadilly Records as well. It's, yeah, it's an institution, and I always enjoy, even if I don't get to go there as much now, I always enjoy picking up a copy of their like year in review, because every time I do it, my music collection seems to build up, and yeah, lovely stuff. Plus, across the road, there's Vinyl. Is it Vinyl Exchange, which you can get your hands on some really cheap like promo albums and singles. But yeah, just love stuff. Great record selection in Piccadilly Records as well. That's lovely. Sherbety, zingy, a little bit of sweetness but not too much, a little bit of earthiness but not too much. Lovely bitterness on the back end. How many times am I going to say lovely in this review? Yeah, it's not going to blow you away. It's not going to, you know, make you, take your top off and run around the room screaming or anything like that. But if you just wanted a so satisfying drinking experience that you could have a few cans of and not feel it too much, then this is definitely one. Of course, Track will brew beers that have a bit more fanfare with this one, I'd imagine, especially their big, bold, in-your-face IPAs and their stouts. Although I did pick up an absolutely amazing sounding triple fruited Imperial Goza with them and Zavador, I think it is, out of Russia, which I'm very much looking forward to. So tempted to drink it after this one, but it's like 10% and I want to be a bit sensible, even though I'm only in work at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, I always do this. I always have a little bit of a haul with the intention of, do you know what, I've been drinking whilst I've been shopping. I don't need to really drink too much more. I might have a week off. But then next thing you know, you've got that beer sitting in the cabinet, and you just want to just drink it. And this is lovely. It really, really is. Just so nice. It's simple, but it's different, and I really, really like that. But it's a fine come between of those two sort of elements. Anyway, so in terms of a rating, then I'm going to give Nickel in the Slot an 8 out of 10. It's another absolute banger from Track, as you would expect. Their can game is just wonderful, because they did go slightly slip under the radar for a little while after having a big, push, and I'm really glad to see their cans, and their tap room is a place that has definitely grown on me. And I didn't not like it because there was like 4 flights of stairs before you got there. That had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do, with me getting out of breath before I've even ordered a beer. That had nothing to do with my distaste to the tap room. But yeah, it's just something different, you know what I mean? And I like the fact that it's in the middle of an industrial area. It's a stone's throw from the Arches, where their other premises is. Well, I'm not sure if they're still there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, at first I was getting used to it. But now, every time I'm going to Manchester, I'm pretty much heading up there. Plus, Squawker, just above them with a little bit of a cinema. There's like a little bar, pub place underneath. It's quite an interesting setup that they've got in that building. Plus, if you've got the money, you can have a look at the showroom for the apartments, which life goals to get an inner city apartment and also buy a Tom Ford suit. Simple dreams, ladies and gentlemen. Simple dreams. Even though I think I'm destined to stay in Scam for the rest of my life. Who knows? We shall see. Anyway, so if you've tried this one, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Yeah, what's some of your favourite Track beers? I've got a couple to review, and I'm looking forward to them. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of this with a sausage roll that I picked up from work. The van that comes around giving with the food, I went there for the first time, and I got like 2 really quite decent sized sausage rolls for like £2.50, and they're fucking gorgeous. And it's going to go well with this. Probably not, but I want to have sausage roll and beer. I might have some chicken afterwards as well. Who knows? I might just eat loads and gain another fucking stone. No need to swear, but anyway. Thanks for watching. If you've tried this, let me know your thoughts, opinions. Check out the brewery, check out the Pilcrow. Definitely worth going to if you're in Manchester. And of course, for those music lovers, go check out Piccadilly Records as well, if you haven't done so already. So, thanks for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.